Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D, 1/3 of the podcast GFT radio show.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles from the GFT radio show. Just letting you know you can catch us every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern.
And to get some merch, I got some on right now. Go to teespring.com/stores/GFT radio.
Grown Folk Talk Radio. Join the conversation. Let's have some fun. Holla.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D. Welcome to tonight's show. Willie Styles, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building.
Yes, y'all. Welcome to tonight's show. It is August 24th, 2020. August is about to be over. Jesus. If you're watching right now, you're live on YouTube or Facebook. So shout us out. Get into the comment section. Join the conversation. If you missed it, then guess where you got to go? You got to catch the playback either on Google Play Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Blog Talk Radio, and of course you can watch it replays on Facebook and our YouTube channel as well. And if you guys love us enough, like myself, I don't know if Willie's wearing anything, but I can be real petty, is one of our merchandises. So go to get some merch. Go to teespring.com/stores/GFT radio. Support us while we support you.
I'm usually wearing merch. But
yeah,
I just came from a
I'll be like
pool,
the
so
only
not
person.
tonight.
Yeah, I think I'm probably the only one that doesn't wear merch as much because my daughter takes all my stuff that I do buy. So she can't fit this shirt, so she can't take it. So I think I need to buy fitted shirts instead of I've been buying the men's shirts. And if I buy the men's shirts, she'll take them. And if I buy the girly shirts, she don't take them. So maybe I should start buying everything girly. I don't know. But get some merch.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, but get some merch. We got masks, we got tote bags, we got fanny packs, we got pillows, we got hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeves, we got kids shirts and all that. So go there, get some merch, and we're probably going to add more to the store, but you can go there and see all that we have. We have logo shirts and then just our famous things that we say during the podcast that we just say in real life, So go there, cop our shit, and let us know that you support us by either posting it to our Instagram page at GFT_radio. Hold up, there we go. Or come to our Facebook and tag us in a post so that way we can see that you guys are wearing our merch and that you support us. You can also go to our website, catch our content and miscellaneous things there. So go to gftradioshow.com. I'm still in the process of uploading all of our shows onto there because we've been slacking. It ain't just me, it's them too. I'm blaming them too. But yeah, go there and do that as well. But as you guys know, we got a great show lined up for y'all tonight. I'm waiting for her to chime in. But I gotta find it. Now I'm just learning this.
So I did get my book. Just I'm a clarify confess to the audience that I did delay getting my book, but I did get a copy. It came in yesterday. I started reading it. I read like half the book. So I'm gonna. I'm pretty well versed on what's going on. It's just So I think I did pretty good for one day.
I think that y'all gonna kill me. So guys, I'm gonna apologize because I'm a little dopey. I got a busy week. I don't think I sent Christine the actual invite to the stream. So my bad.
Didn't I just ask you if you sent her that?
I thought I did. Hold on, did I send it to her? Let me check. No, I did not. Hold on, she's active now, so let me send it to her. We're human, don't you? Willie's looking at me sideways.
Well, we did tag her and we did talk to her, so she knew we were coming. She probably just didn't know how to get into it.
All right, so I'm sending her the link now, so don't yell at me.
Anyway, I'm
I'm
going to
sorry.
talk while you figure out that. So anyway, so hopefully everybody is enjoying the show so far. As usual, we are getting over the technical difficulties, so no big deal. But definitely go check out Christine's book. It's called Through Blind Eyes. It's a very intense
She
and
just asked how to
very
get on.
emotional. You said what?
She just posted in the
Oh,
comments
she
like,
just
how do I
asked how
get
to
on
get
this?
on. Okay. Yeah. So it's a very intense and very emotional read, especially if you've gone through similar situations. I read some of the reviews, and some of the people who reviewed the book, mentioned how the book made them feel, seeing or hearing about somebody else's domestic violence experience. I'm not going to try to get too much into it until we get Christine on, tell her
Yeah,
own synopsis of the book, but definitely check the book out. It's on Amazon. What else is it on? Do you know?
it's on Amazon, I believe, for right now. I'm not sure if it's on another site. Am I echoing? Oh, there go Christine. I see her. I'm about to tag her in.
Okay.
Hold on. We're
But I know
gonna let
Christine
her.
also has it available.
Yeah, she
Okay,
has.
yeah, all right.
Yeah, I bought my book directly from her. Hey, Christine. Sorry.
Hey guys, look, I'm like, how do I get on?
No, because I just realized. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Did I ever send her the link? I'm like, oh my God.
No, you're good, look, you're good. I was like, I'm gonna sit here and wait.
No, I was like, she's on. I can send it to her right now.
Look. No, so
But,
the book is available. If you live in the Trenton area, I can get the book. I can get the book to you. We just have to coordinate. But it's available on Amazon, and we're asking people to buy it on Amazon because we're trying to get bestseller on Amazon.
Yeah. And I just put the link in the comments. I'm hoping I did Willie some justice. I'm the captain of the ship today.
Right?
And I'm not really doing a great job. So.
No, you're doing a wonderful job.
No,
Look,
but
let's just have fun.
Yeah, that's why we're all about fun here. People are human, people make mistakes, so we're not even gonna dwell on that. But I have the pleasure, like you guys seen. Christine has been on our show before. She's done the ladies roundtable with us. We had a great time. We did 2 shows.
Yes.
We had so much fun. It was amazing to have her on there.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Look, I love coming on here. This is like one of my favorite shows. Even when I'm not on here, I watch you guys. But so this is one of my favorite shows because you keep it real. And and just because we don't agree on but it's like we agree to disagree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about you guys.
Yeah, that's our mantra for our podcast, is make sure that whether we agree or don't agree, we do it as grown adults. That's why it's called Grown Folks Talk Radio, not childish radio.
Exactly.
We have to be able to agree to disagree and move forward.
Exactly.
But read your book.
You still love me, right?
No, I do. I actually I think it made me love you more. I don't know. But, no, but it's just like, cause it's one of those things where how you know somebody but you don't know them. It's like one of those things.
I do.
So it was like, I saw you as Chris. Like I'm just gonna tell y'all, because I don't know if I told y'all when she was on our podcast before, or the 2 times she was on there before, but I know Christine through church. So I met her. Her family, I believe, was it her husband's family, is all up into our church. Like
my husband's grandmother.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, great grandmother built the church.
Yeah. So they were coming. I think it was after I had my daughter or before.
Right after you had your daughter.
Yeah, it was like So I got the pleasure of meeting Christine, and I was like, "Who's this beautiful lady? She's so nice, blah blah blah." And like you get to see people. It's like one of the things, people from the outside looking in, you don't really know what they're going through or like what they're dealing with in everyday life. So like I'm pretty sure stories I can share with you that you probably be like, "What? I didn't know that about you." And like on the outside looking in, you would never think that, but it's just like one of those things. And that's why you say you don't really know a person, but you don't really know them unless you know what they've been through to get to like how they are and understand them as in the whole. So for me now it makes sense.
Right. Now
if that makes sense.
Right. No, yes. that's kind of also why I wrote the book, because I wanted to show women that, like, we all go through something. You know, I walk around with a smile on my face, and I act like everything is hunky-dory and, you know, peaches and creams, but there's a whole story behind me. And then I think that's also why God led me to write my story, to show other women that, you know, we go through stuff. Everybody goes through stuff. It doesn't matter. So that's what I'm hoping that women get from the book. That you know, because I'm sure there's a lot of people like you that were shocked that when wait a minute, hold up, not her, not you know, not Christine. She no.
Yeah, but no, I think it's just like I said. I just feel like it's that getting to know a little bit more about a person that you know and love. It's like, this is who I am, unreserved. Like, and it's funny because my blog, Unreservedly Me. But that's how I felt like your book was, unreservedly you.
Right.
And no, like, accept this, and this is just this is not my whole story. This is just a part of my story, and this is how I am, who I am today.
Right.
So like that's one of the things I definitely felt.
Yeah, I was about to say, you know, since I don't know Christine like that, I just, you know her from the podcast and know her, you know, from now reading the book. You know, seeing that like you said, that piece of the story, it's like you said, it's like that revealing part of, you know, because I know you from your strong attitude, your ambitious for fever, everything. You know, she doesn't hold back, and she doesn't let anybody run over her. So it's like, you know, I know the type of woman she is from the conversations I've had, but to see the vulnerability in the story was like, wow, okay, you know, this is a different side.
But see, and exactly. And when I started, you know, speaking with you, you have to understand, I left. I had left that relationship. I could have never been on your podcast had I been in that relationship. I found my power in leaving, and I found my voice in leaving. And because I left and I started to find myself again, I started to realize that, you know, I do have a voice and I do have views, and, you know, not everybody's going to agree with me, but I am entitled to my opinion.
Absolutely.
And so I started to be vocal with it. And that's what this book is actually doing for me. Like, cause, you know, my shield is my not shield, but my curtains are drawn. You know, my life is out there. So being that my life is out there, it's like I can be more boisterous because I have nothing to hide. I don't have to worry about people finding out. I wrote a book. There's nothing for you to find out. So now I can speak my opinions, and I can speak my truth, and I can tell, you know, women, you know, these are the things that I've done, and just because I did them doesn't mean that they're right. And, you know, I've learned from my mistakes, and hopefully that other women can learn from my mistakes as well.
Yeah, that was actually going to be one of my first questions was how did you feel when you first let someone else hear your story, or when you first allowed someone else into that private space to hear what you really went through?
Okay, so Bobby, my writer, she was the first person that I actually told my entire truth to. Nobody knew, you know, because not to get into it to, you know, spoil the book, but we did some really crazy things. And all anybody knew is that Christine was missing for a whole year. I was gone. Nobody saw me. Nobody, you know, I didn't hang out with anyone. So she was the first one that I told my truth to. And let me tell you, it was liberating. It was like,
sure.
It really was. It was liberating because now I got it off my chest. I said,
you don't have to hide it anymore. You don't have to
I don't have to worry about, did someone videotape me in this place, or you have to worry about anything coming out. I don't have to worry about people talking about me behind my back. Like, there's no need in talking to me behind my back. Let's have a conversation about the book. So it was very liberating.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what people. It's almost like, you know, how we grow up in church and we're told to give our share your testimony, because you never really know. And I think that we live in this idea, especially as brown people, we live in this idea that we can't share because we seem weak.
Right.
And when you finally get to speak your truth, it's that weightless, and it's that you sharing it and realizing that you're not the only person that went through that. It's other people that went through that, and they can relate, and you're not, because it's the ideal of I'm alone.
Yep. So
and when you share, it's like, no, you're not.
When the first book first came out and people started reading it, and people were sharing it, I did, because I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna start talking about me. They're gonna call me all kinds of, I'm gonna be called all kinds of names. But then, like right after that, I had women in my inbox like, oh my God, this is my story. I'm so glad, I'm so glad you told your story, because now I see I'm not the only one. Like it's it was very now, and also I belong to a lot of domestic violence groups. So now I'm seeing that my story is everybody's story. Like all of these women are going through the exact. It's like these men get handbooks on how to batter women, or how narcissists get how to treat women.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not the only one that's going through this. Like,
so
women need to.
So that was my thing too. Was did you hear these similar stories coming from readers and people who are reading your book that were like, oh my God, this happened to me exactly like this, and this is how I reacted exactly like you? Or are you hearing that over and over again?
Yeah, over and over again. I mean, it. Ooh, I have an echo. No, I'm sorry. So there are so many stories that I read on these different groups, and I'm like, is there a handbook going out? No, seriously. Like it's like there's a blueprint.
It's a pattern. It's a pattern. Yeah, it's a blueprint. It's a blueprint for narcissism. You're right.
There's a blueprint for narcissism, and they all do the same thing. And
it's not even, and that's why we did a show, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but we did a show basically talking about how when people think abuse, they just think it's either verbal or physical.
Right.
Missing the part that you have, like we did a show called Gaslighting. About gaslighting. And that makes you look at it from a different thing. They're breaking down your mental.
Right.
Physically, it does it too. Like when you physically abuse, that does it too. Verbally, that does it too. But when you're being gaslit, it's like it's like you're questioning, like you don't trust your own thoughts.
No. Can I share this with you?
Totally.
Can I share this with you?
Yeah.
So there was so many times that he would have convinced me I did something I know I didn't do. Like, yeah. I'm like, Christine, are you like, do you have like a double personality and you don't realize what you know? There were times I questioned, did you black out and you don't remember? Or like, because they gaslight you so badly that you honestly start thinking, am I doing this stuff? Like, and I was mad at him because I thought, but that's what they all do. That's what everybody does. That's the blueprint.
Yeah, I just want to. My question to you, just because I don't think we got into this, but we should start jumping in and talking. But I want you to, without going into full detail, but kind of talk about, like, give a summary of your book for those who want to buy it. Just tell them, like, basically what the book is about without really going into detail.
Okay, so the book is about my marriage, and I met my husband when I was 17 years old. I suffered a traumatic loss when I was 9 years old. And because of that loss is why I held on to my husband, because he replaced that loss, and I wasn't going to lose that person in my life again. So the book is about me trying to make my marriage work. If that's like the best way I could describe it. just, the things that I went through, the things that I was putting up with, because I refused to lose that person that I had lost a long time ago. And all I wanted was this man to love me. That's it. All I wanted him to love me. I knew I loved him enough to make him love me. And you couldn't tell me that my actions wouldn't make him love me.
I think that's all of our problems. That's a lot of us females do that. We want our actions to make this person love us and want us the way we want them. And it's like sometimes that's not how it works.
And it's not, because see, I didn't realize that my husband was a narcissist. I thought that because of his story, that's why he was the way he was, which it is, but there are men out there that should not be married, that should not never get married, that should never have a girlfriend, that should not try and be in a monogamous relationship, because they just don't have it in them, and they can grow up in the best households and still be like that. And I feel as though my husband is one of them. He's just not a man that should be in a monogamous relationship, because he doesn't know how to, because all he cares about is himself. So that's kind of what the book is about, me trying to get this man to love me. Without giving too much away.
I felt like some of it, not necessarily because I didn't go through like physical abuse like that, whatever, but like I kind of related to some of the stories in there. Like, but it even like currently relationships I was in previously, like recent, and it just makes you like, that's why I said I texted you Saturday. Was it Saturday? No, Friday, and I said, and I told you I was almost done, and I said you're strong as hell. like, because I think the one part, that one little blurb in your book was like, you would think I would, something like along the lines, it wasn't verbatim, but it was something like, yes, I still am here. I still was there. I believe that somehow he was going to change. And it was like, nope.
No, let me tell you. I think that? and the thing is that, okay, so we finally, like, we're finally over. It's finally over. It's finally done. But and that's since October, but a year ago, almost maybe 2 years ago, I tried to make it work again. I did. I was like, okay,
you still were trying to make it work?
I was still trying to make it work.
She was determined, because you know what, and I get it to an extent of, here's why I get it from a female standpoint. She had multiple kids by this person, and it was like, and that's one thing, like, and I'm like that too. It's like, I got to start all over again. I got to meet somebody else. It's like, I might as well just, and then when you go out and deal with somebody that just on the same bullshit, it's like, I might as well go back to that bullshit. At least I got kissed by this person.
No,
like, it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. If it, you know what I'm saying? It's that mindset that you be in.
I was single for a year. I didn't meet anybody, didn't talk to anybody. Like, I was, really focusing. My son was graduating from high school. My daughter, was doing her thing. I'm trying to focus on my kids. So I really didn't have the opportunity to meet anyone. But it was like, okay, so here he comes, and, he wants to make it work again. And, he realized, and I can't even sit here and say he said sorry. He just, let's try to make our family work again. And then, because we're writing a second book, so I can't go too much into it, but we had another end. I was like, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay. I'm on it. Full alert, second book.
Right? So, so I'm sitting here, and I'm trying to make it work, but he's not changing. So in October, I said, that's it. It's over. It's time to move on. But I'm no quitter. Okay. And I was going to make this man love me, but now I'm realizing that you can't make nobody love you. Either they do or they don't.
Exactly.
And you could be the perfect person. Like, and I cooked, I cleaned, I took care of the kids. I worked. I never asked this man for more than what I needed. And, because I always wanted him to build his business. I believed in his dream. I did. I truly believed in his dream, and I was going to support his dream by any means necessary. And I gave him all of me, having nothing left for myself. So,
the whole definition of losing yourself in a relationship.
I mean, I guess a question I have for you then, because I know when I was going through my divorce, the biggest thing was like understanding what we wanted out of the relationship or what we wanted out of the partnership. And were you trying to justify the things? Because like when you mentioned being perfect and doing the chores and trying to be a certain type of woman for him, were those things that he told you he wanted out of it, or things you were trying to justify were what he should have wanted out of it?
See, what they do is they don't, like, if they'll complain. They'll complain all the time. So if you have everything, right, and try to do everything perfect, then you'll stop the complaining, or you think you'll stop the complaining. But really what happens is, okay, now you're not going to complain about this, but you're going to complain about something else. And I'm one person. So here I am I'm driving myself crazy, trying to do everything right, when I didn't realize that there was nothing that I could do right. There was nothing that I was going to be able to do right. What he was doing was making me feel, was wanting me to be perfect, wanting to try to be perfect, wanting to make sure that everything that I do is to please him.
Right. So there's the blueprint, and that's what I wanted to talk about too, was that blueprint for narcissism. Because I've seen that with people that my sister has dated, some other females that I know have dated, where they have helped them to be what you call more perfect or more acceptable, and then the woman feels like he's doing them a favor, grooming them, not realizing they're just more grooming them for their own, like you said, their own pleasures and for their own benefits.
That's it. That's exactly what they're doing.
So the other question I was going to ask that's kind of related to that was in terms of how I guess you kind of answered that when you said you tried to get back, try to get the family back together. But I guess my question was, how did you kind of have that breakthrough that you were like, you know what, enough is enough, to the point where it was like, it really was enough. Like I know you've gone through the enough is enough a lot, right? But when was it like the breaking point?
Okay, so honestly, we had an incident, and I'll give this little piece away. So we had an incident, and the police had to be called, and I had to go down to the station, and the police officer was so nice to me, like just so understanding, and like, you don't deserve this. You're too pretty for this. You deserve better than this. I could not have that police officer come to my house again. There was no way. There was no way I could call the police again and have them come. Like, he gave me this like self-confidence, and like just that little moment, he gave me this self-confidence, and I was like, enough. Like, you know what, Christine, he's right. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve to keep putting yourself through this. But at this point, it's going to be better to be by yourself than to be with this toxicity.
You have to unmute yourself, Sonny. You have to unmute yourself.
No, well, that would have been great if I had done that right the whole time. I was just talking to myself. No, but I have a question though. So I know when you write books, people usually feel away.
People what?
And things like that. So my question to you is, did he reach out regarding the book?
Oh yes, no. Okay, so when I moved out, when we separated, I had left my email open on his thing, so he read the whole rough draft. because me and Bobby wrote the book. Bobby Beam wrote the book. I just, I told her what happened, and then she made up, she turned it into a story. So he saw our whole communication through email. So he read the whole draft, and the only thing, like, he really didn't have anything to say. Like, it's some stories did not happen that way. It is specifically one story about a car. But
hold on, we're gonna have to chat later because I think that's why I know. Okay,
right, that was Bobby's imagination. That it did happen. Don't get me wrong, it did happen.
But it didn't happen the way that she.
She like that was for that was for excitement. I'm like, but it was already an exciting story, Bobby. But so
should make it hot.
Yeah, she was making it hot. But.
Oh wait, are we talking about at the beginning of the book?
No.
Okay, about to say. Sorry, okay.
That was what I like to call the rebellious stage.
Yeah. No, I call myself getting revenge.
That was a whole rebellion. Like, I'm like, hell no.
Yeah, there's some ups and downs. Also, I'm trying to tell people, read this book. There's some ups and downs. There's some exciting parts, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a page turner. It really is.
And I didn't know, and like I remember you telling me, like, "Oh, you can sit down and read it in one day." I didn't.
I mean, really, if I'd have got my book earlier in the day yesterday, I would have finished it. I would literally.
No, I sat there and I was just like, I had to take them, but maybe because I know her, and I was just like, wait a minute, now this is too much. This is too much. No, because like I said, it's not that I don't want to say this, so it's not like I put you up on this pedestal that you couldn't be. Like normalized for regular folk, but it's just that how I look at you is completely different,
right?
And it wasn't that the book made me look at you as less than,
right? No,
it made me understand, like, because and people, I do it from time to time. Like I know I had a conversation with somebody about something that happened in my life, and they looked at me like I was crazy,
right? Because
they were on the outside looking in. It's like, you would never know that because that's not what I put out there. And so like, and that's why I say you never really know, like that's why I said at the beginning of the show, you never really know a person, even though you know them, you don't really know, not unless you've been there their whole entire life and know everything they went through. But who's going to share everything they went through in their life?
No, because a lot of people are embarrassed. A lot of people are embarrassed to share their stories, because the one thing that I used to hate when people say is, "Oh my God, I could never." Well, that was like motivation for me. Oh, well, I'm going to show you my marriage is going to work. When you say I could never, because love is a drug. Love is a bad drug.
Yes, it is.
and I've been on that drug before.
Yes. And you know how drug addicts chase their drug? I was chasing love, and I was going to prove everyone and everybody wrong. No, we're going to make it. We're going to be that testimony, because we come from a church where men like my husband change and do get better as far as what they show us. So I'm sitting here thinking that I can love this man, and I'm going to love this man to change.
And that's what made me think about that too, about you guys coming to church and stuff. And like wondering, like I'm an odd person, so I'm like used to wonder, like how does he sit? How was he able to sit there?
Because what you also have to remember is that these men justify their actions.
Yeah,
there's a cause for everything. He never came home and just started hitting me. It was never, and there are women out there that are going through that. That wasn't my story. My story was, we would start arguing. He'd tell me to shut up. No, make me shut up. And then the next thing you know, we fighting. Or he thinks I'm flirting with somebody, or somebody's flirting with me. And now instead of approaching the man, you want to take it out on me. Or now you want to start an argument because you want to go out there and so, but now you're going to have to hear my mouth. And my mouth is very slick. I'm the nicest person you'll probably almost ever meet. But when that switch goes off, I will cut you with this tongue. I mean, I will cut you to your core. So it was never just, oh, you looked at me funny and now bam, you got hit. He always justified he always
By your,
justified right, but by
Hey, Christine.
action. Yes.
How you doing? I'm Dane.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, I've been listening to your story since you started. Actually, I was listening offline at first.
Right.
The part that I just want to ask you a question on, maybe you can give me some perspective, is if somebody's flirting with you, how's it your fault and he had to take it out on you?
Thank you, brother.
But see, a lot of men do that.
No, I understand. No, I understand they do that, but it makes no rational sense. And I know family members and close friends of mine who's been in domestic violence, domestic,
Situation.
situations, and it always baffles my mind. It always, boils my blood when I hear about stuff like this, because you should not put your hands on anybody, male or female.
No matter if they talking back or not, it's just
words don't put your fist. Just because Sonny got a big mouth or she's cut at me, don't mean that I have my rights to put a fist in her eye.
That's why I be cussing them out, Christine.
See, that's why I be like, just be more petty with Sonny. Just get back at her.
Right. No, see, you know what? Honestly, and I know we blame everything on slavery, but you have to remember, slavery. It wasn't because he didn't hit me because somebody flirted with me, or he didn't hit me because it was a control issue. It was one thing. The reason why the master beat the slave, it wasn't because it was to control him. It was to get him to what he wanted to do, right? So men were taught, but not even just men, because there's women out there that do it too. People were taught that the best way to control someone is to hit them. And we do that with our children too, when we spank them. Although a lot of these children needed to be spanked. But that's a different type of, like when I spank my kids, I tell them, I'm spanking you because I'm trying to save your life. Like, you can't be out here acting crazy, doing crazy things, because then the next thing you know, you're going to disrespect a police officer and get killed. So that's why I'm chastising you. But people just history has taught us the best way to control someone is through violence. You beat them, you beat them into submission.
Yep, exactly.
And especially in the Black community, I promise you, if there are more Black women out there that are dealing with this than that want to admit that they're dealing with this, because slavery has taught the Black man how to control. Slavery taught the Black man how to control people through beating. So that's what these men are doing. It's a control issue. It has nothing to do with this man flirting with me. My husband wanted to, okay, I see this man flirting with you. You see this man flirting with you. Just know, if you mess with this man, I'm going to beat you up. And that's what that was about.
Yeah, but that's crazy, because at the end of the day, you married, like, so if you marry somebody and they're pretty, or dating the female and she's pretty, or for the vice versa, if a female dating a man that's very attractive, people flirt. It's an insecurity issue. Are you that insecure? Because if you're secure in your spot and you know that person is your person, you shouldn't be needing to. You should understand that they're cute. People are going to talk to them, or people are going to.
Let me tell you. Oh no, go ahead, sweetie.
Oh no, I don't want to say, for me, that's an ego boost. I'm like, oh, he's trying to flirt on my woman. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks, my man, but we good here. We good here.
I know, right? Like, apparently she looked good, or she putting out the right energy. So I'm with it.
That's my dog, but she's mine though.
No, but women would flirt with my husband all the time, because he was very attractive.
That's why I don't get it.
So women,
and I'm like, do the same thing.
Yeah,
like,
he is cute, isn't he? He's cute. I know he is. But if I'd have known back then what I know now, I'd have probably got him a little mad. I would have. But when they would flirt with him, I'd be like, "That's my man. That's right. That's my husband." And I never could understand why he wasn't wasn't that way with me. Like, you should be proud. I'm not out here doing anything. I'm like, can't nobody say they're sleeping with me. So you should walk around proud that I'm your, that I'm with you. But it wasn't about the men flirting with me. It was about me making sure that I don't take that flirtation too far, because I know I'm gonna get my butt whooped. If I'm gonna get my butt whooped because he's flirting with me, imagine what I do if I mess with. Imagine what's gonna happen if I mess with him. That's what that message was about.
Yeah, just craziness. I want to talk about. Well, I want to. Well, not really. It's a question. I want to talk about how you felt stepping into different worlds. I'm gonna just put it like that because I want to get in.
Okay.
I want to dive into the book. But how did it feel stepping into these new experiences? I'm gonna say experiences or worlds that you stepped into.
Honestly, it was liberating for me. It was, because I've always wanted to. I've always had an interest in it, but I felt as though that was a treat, and he never deserved that treat. He never, he was never a good enough
man.
man.
Wrong person.
Yes.
Like, that should have been you. It should have been you. I wasted the good surprise on you.
Yes. No, it was a treat. It was, it was something that I always wanted to do. I always, but I always knew that he had side pieces. I always knew that, so finally one day he came to me and he was like, he just was honest, and we had a really great conversation, and we were going to really try to make it work this time. And so then I was honest with him. I was like, well, this is something that I want to do. And I mean, if he would have said no, I would have been disappointed. But I would have been right, because I wouldn't have been able to do that. But I would have been flattered at the same time too, because now you really, it's really just about me and you right now.
Yeah.
Would I have done that again? Heck no.
Do you think that? Do you think that if he had that conversation in the beginning, before all his extra activities?
No, we did.
So at the beginning, there would have been.
We did have the conversation in the beginning. He always knew that I was always, curious, because we watch stuff and we, whatever. But he always knew I was curious. But I told him, first off, you gotta be my husband, because I know, I belong to these groups, and the girls be like, oh, I can never do that with my husband. Well, you shouldn't be doing it with your boyfriend either. So,
but what? Listen. We're not gonna have that conversation because I listen. Willie know my listen. I don't know, Christine, if you missed my blog before, my old blog, but if you have read my old blog, and you'd have been in that one, you'd be like, listen, I got rules and stuff. You gotta listen, and no. But I think a lot of people. But I asked that question because I think a lot of people do things because their spouse or their mate or their other half wants them to do things versus them actually want to do it. So it's not so when they do it, they regret it, or they don't want to, or they feel like they not that they shouldn't have done it, but they just feel odd because they felt like they only did it because.
No, see, I didn't do it because.
To do. That's why I wanted to know how your thoughts on that. Did you feel regretted because of regretting it? Absolutely, because it was that person and you wasted the good surprise on them. Absolutely, but to feel like you regret the whole experience, no, because it's something that you wanted to do. So this is something that I really wanted to try. So I can say that I've done that, how I felt about it, whatever the case may be, and move on from it.
Now, see,
whichever one. It's up to you.
Up until we started doing the lives, Bobby always thought that I did it to, to try to get him to love me. And I was like, no, it would make for a nice story, but no, that's not true.
I think that's what a lot of people would think by reading that. They would think, that's why I said I asked the question, because I wanted to see the thought process behind it, because I know it's a lot of, not saying that was the sole reason, but I just wanted to know, was that the reason, or was it something that you wanted?
That's what I wanted. I wanted to try it. I'm a sneak, lady in the street. Yes. So the only thing that I regret about it is that it's with him. Yeah. You know what I mean? I regret doing it. He didn't deserve it. He never deserved it. it was, that was a facade. That was just, and I don't know what the facade was about, but the whole, let's make this work and I'm going to act right and I'm going to treat you right and it's going to be all about me. It was just a facade. And it wasn't, I feel as though he did not deserve that. Just didn't.
I don't think he deserved it either, but I digress.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Christina?
Sure.
It's about how old were you when you got with him?
17.
17. See, a lot of guys are really mature enough to handle a lot of stuff that way. So you probably did waste a good gift on him. Like if you were older, he did this.
That didn't happen until we were 40.
Okay.
Yes, I turned 40 and lost my mind. I did. I was like, you know what?
No, you turned 40 and living your best life just for a little bit.
No, but I was like, I'm about to die. I gotta do things.
I turned 40 and had a second kid, so you're doing things differently.
No, I was like, oh my God, my life is almost over. I'm 40. My life is almost over. I gotta start doing things.
And that's one thing. And that's one thing I don't want to like. And that's why. See, I live my best life in my mid 20s into my 30s.
Same here.
And probably I still got some years to live my best life. But
no, it's over. It's over.
It's a lot. No, it's never going to be over. As long as I'm single, it's never going to be over. As long as I'm still single, it'll never be over. And probably in a relationship, it probably never be over. But I just feel like you get to that point where you just like, and that's one thing that you have to be able to express yourself in that type of manner, because if you get that shoulda, coulda, woulda, those regrets, those things and stuff like that. So you got to live your life, and at the end of the day, you can't live it for nobody. You got to do what you want to do. But I always tell people, you're gonna do things. Don't ever do stuff because people want you to do them. Do them because that's what you want to do, because it makes it that much better. Especially if the experience is and stuff like that. Like you have to. And I'm at 37. And I'm telling people that. I've been telling people that. I've always promoted be healthy, be safe, and do shit responsibly. That's always been my motto. But my other question, because I was confused, but I think you pretty much answered it. So Bobby actually wrote the book for you, so she was your writer, and because I was confused because I'm like, okay, who's this Bobby person?
Right, writer. I can barely write a sentence. I'm a numbers person. Mm-hmm. So, and it was funny because she had posted this story I knew I wanted to tell my story. This was like right after I finished chemo. Mm-hmm. So I went to her.
You got to talk about that too.
Yeah, I went to her and I was like, Bobby, let's write my story. I kid you not. You know how some people you'd be like, some people would be like, are you sure? Are you sure? She was like, okay, let's do it. So, and then we just did it. The one thing that I will say about the other thing, though, just because I wanted to get this, if I did not do it for me, it would have been way worse. I would have regretted it. I don't even think I would have put it in the book if I didn't do it for me. I think I would have did it.
I have a lot of people that I know that have done things and then they regretted it later because it's not something. That's why I said it's not something they wanted to do. It's not what they wanted to do. They felt uncomfortable about it, felt weird after the fact, and it's like that's why I strongly suggest you never do anything that you don't want to do, whether it's oral sex or not. Like, because people have issues with that.
Right?
Don't do it if you don't want to do it. Like, just that might not be the person for you. I don't know.
Exactly. If it's not for you, it's not for you. I love you.
I had to show it. Willie, did you have a question?
No,
right? I love the pictures. I love the pictures from the thing.
Yes, shout out to Fred Everett. He's actually a photographer, but he does artwork. His artwork is his photography. Mm-hmm. So he was the coach of my son's baseball team. Mm-hmm. And I reached out to him, and I know this book was ordained by God because my girlfriend Elise Penn, I say her name wrong all the time, her last name wrong, but it's DeSimone Pandolfini. Mm-hmm. Yes, but Elise, I work with her.
You know what you're talking about.
Yes. So the Fox and C. She's on Fox and C. She owns Fox. She's the owner of Fox and C. So she actually put cover together. I worked with her. She did that for free for me. Fred Everett, all I had to do was allow him to use my pictures, other pictures that he took as his artwork. And he did that for me for free. And just the way this book, and then me and Bobby, we went to college together. As you read in the book, we were in college together. So this book was really ordained by God. It really was, just the way it came together.
Now, do you see like TV shows and other instances where they have these domestic violence? Do you see it a little differently now since you've been through it?
Yes. No, you know what? I have a little bit. I never. The crazy, and this is so crazy. But I never, as I was going through it, I never looked at myself as a domestic violence survivor. Okay. In my community, this is normal. People fight. You throw something at him, he throws something at you, he chokes you up. Like, I was watching the interview with Drea, and they were talking about Meg Thee Stallion, and Drea was like, I wish somebody loved me enough to shoot me in the foot. So I never looked. Drea from Basketball Wives.
Yeah, Michelle. Yeah.
She was on there, and she was like, I wish somebody loved me enough to shoot me in the foot.
Was she being funny?
No, she wasn't being funny.
She was trying to be funny, but was being serious at the same time.
Yes. No, she was very and then I see a lot of young girls on Facebook, like, yeah, he came in there and hemmed me up, like thinking that that's cute, that that's the way that they show love. And for the longest time, the first time my husband hit me, I was like, oh, he really loves me. That was the sick thought that went through my mind. He really loves me. He put his hands on me. But that's what the young girls in our community are seeing. Oh, he comes in there and he, chokes you and drags you up out of there. That's because he loves you. No, but this is what is being told. And that's what I saw. So I was like, oh, well, this is really love.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that we don't realize, and I think you said that in the book, that we don't realize how being in situations like that and our kids seeing it.
Right. Yeah.
And how it affects them. And you don't want, especially like for our boys, to think that that's how they show love to a female. Or you don't want our girls to think that's how love is. That's why you get that comment from Drea. You get comments from people that think that, oh, he just choked me up and I lost consciousness for a couple minutes, but he made sure I was all right afterwards. It's that mentality of thinking that it's justifying the actions, just say, like it's justifying the actions, and it's also making people think it's okay.
No, yes.
And if they grow up in that, that's what they know, and then it's a pattern. So, and that's the worst. And I grew up in a house where it was domestic violence. When my mom dealt with that, and it was, and like in my mind, it was like I could never go through that.
No, right.
And
my daughter, my Torre will never. I dare you.
I said that. But see, I'm talking about physical abuse. I said that, right?
Right.
And that was my mentality growing up. I'm never going to go through that. And I even wanted to protect my mom at times. I remember me and one of her spouses getting into a full-blown shouting match and fist fight. Like, I was a kid and I was like, I'm tired. Like, I'm not coming home to her being messed up. Like, you not even like, fuck you. Like, I was on that type of wave.
Right.
And I remember one of my former best friends' mom went through that, and we jumped her mom's boyfriend. Like, that's the type of wave I was in. So I remember one of my boyfriends that I had lived with told me something. He said something to me one day, and I said to him, and I said to his grandma, if he ever put his hands on me, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of him, and I'm gonna call the ambulance, and I'm gonna be at the hospital, and I'm gonna call y'all. Y'all better not say nothing, because y'all know if I fucked him up, he put his hands on me. This man was 6'2", big and buff, like almost Willie size, like, and I was way smaller than I am now. If he puts his hands on me, I'm stabbing him, and I'm gonna call the ambulance. And y'all won't see me no more. I'm waiting for y'all to get there and I'm out. But in the same token, I was being gaslighted.
Right.
I went through multiple relationships. I was being in a gaslighting situation. And it was like, you know how you say, oh, I'm not going to get nobody going to put their hands on me. They don't have to put their hands on you, but them to abuse you. And it wasn't until we did that show about gaslighting that I was sitting there like, this is some bullshit. Like, because you say that, oh, I'm never going to be an abuse person. I'm never going to be abused. I'm never going to be this, that, and third. Like, literally, like to what you said, I was getting in arguments, apologizing for shit I never did.
Like
I would like the argument would start off as well, you hurt my, like me saying you hurt my feelings because you did X, Y, Z and blah blah blah, to me in tears, hysterically crying, apologizing for something not for me expressing my feelings. Right. But I'm thinking, but in my mind that was something wrong. So I'm just like, well, maybe I should have said it this way, and I ruined your day. Like I'm at work crying hysterically. But I ruined your day, so I apologize. Like what the fuck?
And that was the one thing that I noticed, not only in the book but also in the experiences that I've heard about from friends and family that have gone through similar situations, is that not only the gaslighting, which makes you think either that you're at fault or that you have done something wrong, but also that counter protection. The one thing that struck me at the beginning of the book and that I've noticed is a big pattern that you see is where women feel like they want to be with this man because he's a protector, or that he's fulfilling something that they weren't getting at home, or that they weren't getting from other people who they felt should have been protecting them. But then they flip that role quickly, and it's like they're now trying to protect not only the image of the relationship, but that man,
that person. And
trying to protect him from others. And I don't want to give away what happened in that first incident, but it was like that was so textbook. It was like this is something you see every time. It's like, oh no, it wasn't that, it was this, and making excuses and coming up with reasons why it happened versus the real
initial of he took care of me after.
Damn mind,
Can I just share this one thing with you guys? So when we first got together, I had lied to my husband about somebody that I had been with, like every other woman in the world. Okay, wasn't the first one.
Right.
But later on, I came clean. I had dealt, before I even met my husband, I had dealt with one of his cousins, and like I had regretted and the thing is that I didn't just lie to him; I lied to everybody about it. It was just one of those situations I was embarrassed about.
Right.
So the whole marriage, you lied to me about dealing with, because I'm like, but I didn't lie to just you. So but now he's dealing with a girl who dealt with 3 of his cousins. So that never really bothered you, did it?
Oh wow.
That never really bothered you.
He's probably doing the same thing to them that he was doing to you, and bring that up every chance he get. Just I hit you because you my cousin. 3 of them.
But here's the thing. You knew, but he knew that she was, he knew that, she had been with the other cousins. So you heard me, the fact that I was with your cousin before I met you wasn't the problem. You used that as an excuse to treat me like shit throughout the relationship, because that was the only thing that you had to use as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
So they will, like, that's the gaslighting. They will use whatever they can to make you feel like shit, so that they can have reasons for the abuse. They have justification for the abuse.
Right.
Like, and that's the thing too, because it's like that. What do they say? Like you go through, like, so it's 2 things I wanted to say. So at the beginning, it's always the first initial altercation, and then they fix you,
right?
"Quote unquote," fix you. And I didn't mean to do that. I don't know what I was thinking. I've never put my hands on people before. Blah blah blah, and all that hoopla.
Mm-hmm.
And then it repeats, and then it's always, this is what a lot of people. I guess it's the honeymoon phase. It's that honeymoon phase. Everything is lovely. It's all great, And then that's how people end up in body bags, because now something has set them off completely, and it's they've beaten you to the inch of their life, and you basically, like, not in your case, but you have people that end up dead because they went through that honeymoon phase. Everything was fine. It was good for like a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden the straw broke the camel's back, and they were so enraged that they lost control of what they were doing and completely like kill somebody. So like you want to get out before then. You want to get out at the beginning, but sometimes I think that's when people like realize that that's a chance to jump ship. You see them you see a lot of different things, and they talk about that. I need to go because I think that was going to be my last day.
No, yes.
Oh, go ahead.
No, no, please.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, but I think that's the biggest thing is understanding that you're not the only one that's gone through this. Also understanding that these red flags are there for a reason, right? And that's and I think that's the hardest part to get through. And unfortunately, it's usually women that it's hard to get through for them, is to understand, like, I know I don't need to go through this, or I don't need to accept this to have love. And either it's because of maybe some broken relationships, maybe it's from some past issues that they've had, but it's understanding that there's something better out there, and this is a glaring mark on this relationship that needs to end, and it doesn't need to continue. And see, go ahead. Yeah.
No, okay. I just wanted to say this one thing. What they do, and the first thing that they do is they break down your self-confidence. Okay, what you see in this screen is not what I see. Well, now I do, because my confidence has risen back up. But my self-confidence was so low that because this man took everything that, he took my past, used it against me, just made me feel bad about myself. So, and then a lot of, also we get a lot of our self-confidence from our parents. Your parents telling you that you're beautiful. Even though you think that the children aren't listening, they are. My father never told me I was beautiful. Not because he didn't think I was beautiful, but because he just never saw me as beautiful. Mm-hmm. So, baby girl, you're beautiful just never came out his mouth. So, people, outside people tell you you're beautiful, and you're like, oh, they're just being nice. So he broke that self-confidence down. And because my self-confidence was so broken down, it allowed me to stay. Like, I thought really did not think I could do any better. I really think he was the cream of the crop. I couldn't do any better, so I might as well just take it.
Wow.
And that's the sad part, because do you have men that prey upon women that are broken to an extent?
They're broken, yeah.
And they do the things, like, that's how you get predators and pedophiles and molesters. Like, they prey on people that are not necessarily all together. And so they say, hey, you're beautiful. Different things. They engage you to see what your response is. And by your response and how you respond to it, they know how to reel you in.
Right.
And that's the sad part, because you have people that prey upon people and know that they're broken. Like, you get a lot of people do a lot of time is, I don't want to say, because I hate saying this, but I don't want to male bash and say it's always men. But when we say on our podcast, we look at men as predators. We don't see females as predators. Some females are predators too. They look at broken men. The men that didn't have a stable mom in their life and stuff like that. So they kind of engage them that way. So like it's that predatory mentality that disgusts me.
Right.
So
and you're gonna come right in and not to help fix them, but to break them down more, because you can.
Actually, it's a couple of years. A lot of women have been coming out being caught.
Yeah.
School teachers, they've been getting caught predating.
Yeah.
No, I mean, think about it. You have NBA and NBA, NFL, baseball players who in high school couldn't get a date to save their lives. Now they're in the NBA, they're in the NFL, they're in the whatever, and now all these beautiful women are after them. They're taking advantage of the fact that these players that they couldn't get dates in high school, and now they're preying on them, and they're having babies by them, getting those $10,000 checks. That's just as wrong. Just because that's just as wrong. These women are preying on these men, to get a payday.
Right.
Yeah. And it's sad because you don't recognize that.
No,
Like I said, they're already broken. Nobody never really paid them attention. They probably had, some of them may have, like, and it's, how, and that's one thing. I'm kind of getting off topic, but how this needs to be a podcast at some point. Right. How when you have those men that their mothers that aren't like there for whatever reason, drugs, miscellaneous things, they just whatever reason not there. Those are broken men, because you gotta look at it like this. From their standpoint, their mom, you had them.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna be a deadbeat, like, and that's why I say, like, it for me, it's gonna sound a little messed up, but I'm gonna just be honest. It's more so likely, like, it's more normalized to hear that it's a deadbeat dad. Yeah. When I hear a deadbeat mom, that pisses me off to the extreme.
Because it's like, how?
Because it's like, you carried that person for 9 months.
Yes.
You pushed her, or however they got out.
Yeah.
You have bonded with this child. You gonna just be a deadbeat?
Right.
See, but you have to remember, some women have children just to have children, just because they want to have a baby by this man.
And they want to have a baby by them.
And then the next thing you know, the man don't want to have the baby. They don't want to be in the woman's life. So now they're pushing the baby off. They never wanted the baby in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how because there's no way. One time when I got pregnant with my younger son, my boss was like, "Well, did you ever think of adoption? Ain't nothing that's coming out of me going to live. I'm not going to know where it is.
Right.
Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're not. No, adoption is not an option."
Right.
And and some women just don't. Some, not say women, but adults don't want to live up to responsibility of caring for another child. They want to continue to think they're single or have a party life. Like, well, had a kid. After I get off restriction, I'm going back to partying. No, you have a child to take care of. And sometimes they're being catered to their grandparents or parents, whoever's taking care of them, to help take care of their grandchild or
that's
whatever.
The worst possible thing. Like, I mean, I may sound bitter because I don't have a babysitter on standby. My son is always with me. But when my mom, God rest her soul, was on this earth, my mom used to call me and request my kids. Can you give me my kids?
Right.
I'm like, I don't got nothing to do. Can you bring my kids though? Like, I don't care what you got to do. Can you bring them? And I used to laugh because I'm like I am now. I don't really go nowhere. Like, yeah, I want to go out here and there, but I didn't really go anywhere. So my mom really had to call me. And I remember she took my son for like, the longest my mom had my son was when I went back to work. She had him for a month and a half. Do you know, I felt the way that I had to go visit my baby because of my work schedule. I had to bring him on Sunday. I would go visit him throughout the week, pick him up on Friday and bring him back Sunday night. Like, I was a weekend mom. I felt like I was a deadbeat.
I get it. Genita's gone for more than 2 days, 2-3 days. I'm like, okay, Christine, don't get used to this, because you are a mom. You still got it. You gotta go get your baby.
No, but I wasn't doing anything. I just was like, all right, can I go get them now? Because I ain't doing nothing.
Right? No.
Like, can I get my babies? And even if I did, like, if I went out partying, I was up at like 9-10 o'clock going to get my babies. Like, all right, mom. It's like, not gonna stay. I'm like, no, I just want them back. Like, I just want them back.
No, because like we as mothers, like, every Friday night is my night. I go out on Friday nights.
I wish.
Like, I know, shoot, I have to. Okay,
I need to.
Yeah, thank you. Look, every Friday night, Sarita, just hit me up. So,
well, I gotta find a babysitter now. My daughter leaves for college on the 29th. On Saturday. Now, and I'm still dealing with that because when she leaves, who I'm gonna yell at? I mean her brother, of course. But like, I had her for 18 years in my household. It's like, so you about to go? Like, so I know if I call her, she's not gonna answer me all the time.
Right. No, and it's gonna be hard at first. When Hezekiah left, Yeah, look, when Hezekiah left, I was crying. I cried for like, 3 days, a couple of days. But now I'm like, when do you leave again? When does school start? When can we take you to your dorm?
No, because first of all, I've been kicking her out since I told her at 18 she getting a 30-day notice.
Right.
And then today she made me mad, and I said, Saturday coming here quick enough. I'm going to ball. I'm going to cry.
You sure are.
I'm going to go lay in her room at night. Let me go to bed in here tonight because I don't know.
Yeah,
actually, I got another question for Christine though, because I was thinking about I was reading some of the reviews, and I was reading some of the things that you were corresponding with people back and forth about the book. And one of the things that I think you had mentioned was that your kind of your mission or your goal was to kind of to reach other women. And so I wanted to talk about what your goals are, what your goals were for the book, and now what they are for the book now that it's really out and people are really responding to it.
Okay, so my goal for writing the book, I want to build a community center. I do. I feel as though our people are suffering from lack of knowledge. Back in the day, we didn't have very many opportunities. There weren't but now times are changing. If I don't know if you watch the Black Lives Matter movement, more white people are with us, and now it's not so much about the color of your skin; it's about the knowledge in your head.
Right.
And you can start your own business, and we can start our own businesses. And you know what? You may not be Beyonce, but Beyonce has a whole team behind her. And best believe she's going to want to hire you before she hires anybody else. But she has to hire who the best people. So the community center is to teach our children how to be the best. So Sarita, you wanted to be an actress. I think she should have been an actress.
Oh yeah, I did. I did. I forgot all about that. Wow, you remember that?
Yes. So,
you got some hidden talent up there. What?
Oh yeah. Really oh yeah.
She does. So she would
all the church plays.
Right. So she would come into the program, and she would join the drama club. She would do school first. You have to maintain your grades, whatever. But then I'm gonna show her. You may not be Tarji. I forget her last name.
Taraji.
Taraji. Yes, you may not be Taraji, but Taraji got a whole team, and you're an actress, so you're gonna know what to do to be, to help Taraji. Me, I wanted to be a gynecologist, so I would have joined the science program, and we'll teach children how to be a gynecologist. Our children need to learn how to become the things that we see, and because they're not being taught in school, and honestly, it's not really the school's job to teach them. It's our job to teach. It's our job as parents to teach them, but we have parents that aren't teaching.
Where's Clint when you need him? Because he needs to hear this. That's what Clint always says. It's not just the school's job; it's our job.
It's our job. So I want to start an after-school program, community center. So that's why I wrote the book. So, but now that I'm doing getting into the book and leaving and starting to find my own power, I want to empower people be their best. Really, my main focus is women right now, because we're the ones that's lacking the confidence, and I'm tired of us fighting each other over dick. I mean, like it's 11 o'clock. I guess I can say that now, right?
You can say that 10 o'clock. You've been fine.
You can say that 10:59.
What she say? Her.
No.
I'm so tired.
No. I had to.
Tired of us as women fighting over the dick. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I had to change my room because my kid was in my room.
See, I'm glad I'm
No.
But I really am and I now I want to empower women to, if a man is a helpmate, he's not your father, he's not your son, he's a helpmate. And if that man is not being a helpmate, then you don't need to be with him. Then you need to go find you a helpmate. And same thing goes for men too, but in my world, I see more women who are helpmates than men who are helpmates. So I feel like I have to focus on women right now.
Well, if you're going by the Bible said all of us are church going or Bible believers on this panel, I believe. And the Bible said the woman is a complement. She's not below you. She's not above you. You work with each other to make your marriage work.
All right, Damon.
And that's what a lot of women, especially a lot of African American women need to understand. We are not here to support you. We are here to help you. And it's a lot of women in our communities that are supporting.
Right.
And taking care of grown ass people.
No,
but you know,
I think
I was going to ask you that.
I think the other thing too to get people to understand is that when you're in those different positions, if it's something temporary, that's one thing, but it's like people get caught in a cycle, and they get in this cycle of, you know, constantly supporting, you know, because you can say that, but then somebody will be like, oh, well, it's you know, he's just down on his luck right now, or he's just, you know, he had this situation. Because I had a friend of mine whose significant other lost his job. He was making good money. He had a great career. He lost his job, and it was like one excuse after the other after so much time went by. And what was crazy to me was like it literally got to like 5 years, 6 years, 7, and it was like, when are you going to make him just, you know, make accountable to start doing something, you know, with this expertise or with this experience? I'm like, and then it got to the point, because he was in the same field as I was in, and she came to me one day and was like, can you help him find a job? And I'm like, he's been out of work for this long. His skills are stale. His ability to keep up is going to be hindered. It's hard, you know. It's like, you know, and but not only that, but I think too, it's just a matter of getting out of the cycle, out of that perpetual, you know, state of support, of constant support.
Right. See,
after a couple of months, a man, you can tell if a man really wants to work or not if he's out on a job. Like after a couple of months, he's like, dude, he's like a crackhead. He's like a crackhead. He's like, man, I gotta find me a job, man. Can you help me out? You gotta know somebody who's hiring? You know anybody doing this and doing that?
Yeah.
Like after a while, a guy was like, yeah, my old lady, yeah, she take care of it right now. After 15 years, I think should have been
15 years. Let me tell you something from me personally. I ain't taking care of no grown ass man. If I'm with you, you fall down in your luck, that's one thing. But sweetheart, we on month number 2. What the fuck are you doing?
Like, you got 1 month, 30 days.
Mortgage,
30 days.
1 month. Let's talk about where I work. I work for the Department of Labor.
Yeah, no, it took the last time I had lost my job.
And I work in HR. I can help you do a resume. Don't do it.
I gotta admit during this pandemic that 600 was looking good. I'm sorry.
It does look attractive. That's great. And that's great.
It was very good until they shut me off.
It looks great, but
and now I'm
you
looking.
should be uncomfortable with the female taking care of you.
You should be.
So this is my thing. I don't want to make it a double standard. You should be uncomfortable with just another grown person taking care of you.
Exactly.
You're a whole grown ass person.
A whole grown
person taking care of you.
A whole grown ass person.
Okay, so this is my thing. Because I can be in a situation where my husband can stay home and take care of the kids and cook and clean, do everything, and I'm out making 6 figures, and our bills are getting paid, and we're still helpmates. We're still in this together. But when I come home, I want to be treated like a man. I want my dinner on the table. I don't want to have to clean. I'll take out the garbage.
Don't ask me after I done worked a 16-hour shift, what's for dinner? I will kill you. It will be a homicide.
Right.
I know you just walked in.
You ain't cook nothing, I'ma stab you.
Well,
I know you just walked in, but what's for dinner?
Yeah, but not even just from a gender role perspective. Just back to your point, Christine, being a helpmate. It could be help in keeping the house together. It could be help in managing the finances. It could be help in keeping the kids in line, making sure they're getting their
doing something productive.
Because like when I when I was working from home most of the time or all the time, and I might have even had a business at one point, I took care of making sure. I mean, I wasn't great at the dinner thing, but I took care of making sure the kids got. I made sure the kids got to school, made sure they got to their extracurricular activities, made sure that the chores around the house were done, made sure that, so there was things that I still took care of because I was home. And it's like
that's to my point. Productiveness. If you're sitting at home, whatever your dynamic is, if you're at whatever you're doing, be productive. Right. There's no way that I should come home from working as long as I work, got to deal with the kids and deal with everything else. And you've been sitting in the same spot, ain't wash your ass, just sitting in the same spot when I left. I will stab you.
Yes, and you would be well within your right.
Like, what are you doing? Listen.
You'd be well within your right.
I got baby kids. I got to walk through the door as I'm walking in and start cleaning up. And you in the same spot I left you in this morning, you will die.
Yes, no, and that's not right. That's not right. That's abuse.
I wouldn't do it to you.
That's another level of abuse.
I couldn't even sit home on maternity leave and not do nothing. I'm like, I can't even do this.
That's my wife.
I'm like, I can't even be sitting here with my little percentage of my 60% of my salary at that time. No, but I need my whole paycheck. I'm going back. I don't need to bond. I'll bond with him. 9 months. We good. We good. I had 9 months. I had 2 weeks before, 8 weeks after, because I had a cesarean come out. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life.
Yeah.
I love Sonny.
Nah, I had, every day when I was pregnant, my family like, "Are you going home? Are you gonna start maternity leave?" Like, no. What am I gonna do?
All right. So I think I got one more question. So, in terms of everything you've been through, the things that you've seen, how would you help? Not help, but how would you guide another woman in terms of the next steps to get out of the cycle?
Okay, the first thing if I encountered a woman that was going through this, the first thing I'm going to ask her is, why do you feel you deserve this behavior? Why do you feel like you deserve to be abused? Because the first act, and this goes for me too, after the first time that he hit me and I didn't leave, I told him I deserved that. Because if I didn't feel as though I deserved that, I would have left. Mm-hmm. So my question to her is, why do you feel like you deserve this abuse? And so the first thing she's going to say is, I don't deserve this. So then why are you dealing with that? Because I can't leave. Why can't you leave? Why? We have to start making women think, you know what? I can, believe me, when I left, I had no clue of how I was going to pay my rent. I was on unemployment. I got laid off from my job. I had no clue of how I was going to pay my rent. I had no clue of where we were going to live, what we were going to do, but I just had to do it. And now, how I can say I want to show other women that leaving is not just something that you should do. It's something you have to do, because I don't care how much you think you can change this man or how much you think you can, make this man love you. You can't, because he doesn't love you. Any man that's going to put his hands on you doesn't love you. And that's just the hard truth. And I am so much happier now. Everybody, all my friends, oh my God, we missed this Christine. Where has this Christine? Some friends forgot this Christine because it's been so long. So I just would tell women that, that man doesn't love you. You need to love yourself, and you need to move on. You need to get out. And even if you don't think I didn't think I could, but you just got to do it.
Now, I have a question. From your perspective, what advice could you give men who are very abusive? Maybe somebody who wants to change but don't know how, or they have sometimes they say this is a cycle, maybe an inherent cycle, inherited. What advice could you give people from your standpoint?
first off, you have to leave. You have to separate. And now, do you really want to be with this woman? You know, and I believe if you separate, then, and you see that I want to be with this woman, then make the necessary changes to be with her. Make the necessary, get the counseling. There's all kinds of anger management counseling, and that's really what it is. You know, men get so angry. I know for my husband, it was he couldn't control his temper. But I also feel as though, and you know, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I also feel as though, as much as my husband wanted to love me and wanted to be with me, he just didn't. And he put himself in a situation that he didn't want to be in. He didn't want to be married. He didn't want to have, you know, he didn't want to, like, he did want to have some of his kids, and some of his kids, I'm like, okay, I'm pregnant, I'm keeping it. So, he was forced into a situation that he did not want to be in. And instead of just being a man and leaving and not being in that situation, he forced himself to be there. And then I got the brunt. I got the brunt of his anger because of his frustration. If that makes sense.
I think he would have to. I think any man, if you feel like what you're doing is wrong, or like something like you said is learned behavior. They grew up and watching it and thinking it was okay. They knew it was wrong because they wanted to protect their mom. But they got that pattern, and it's like if you see those signs, I mean, it wasn't when you. It's not. I mean, once you realize those signs within yourself, you may want to go get help.
Like that whole episode. Sonny should remember this. The Different World, when what's her face was getting abused.
Oh, Gina.
Yeah, Gina was getting abused.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just, everything just pops back up real quick for me when it comes to, especially traumatic stuff like this. This is heartbreaking. I'm glad that you came out as a better person, a better new you, or the old you that people before the domestic violence happened.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's the old her. I think it's the new and approved.
No. Okay, so this is what it is. Yes. Okay. So after I had my daughter, I was on my way, and then I changed so much of myself to please him. Because you know the church that we come from, right? You wear the long skirts, you wear you cover yourself, and I changed all of that about me because I knew that that's where he came from. And then that's what he wanted as a wife. And I was okay with that because, I love this man. And if that's the type of woman that he wants, I'll be that type of woman. So yes, I did change myself, and I'm reverting back, but it is new and improved too, because now I'm finding things that at 17, I was trying to change to be who he wanted me to be. So from 17 to 46, which is way too long, I was trying to be something that I wasn't. So I never got to be the full Christine. I never got to be the Christine that I wanted to be.
Potential, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So now you get to be yourself.
Me, it's the old me, but it's still new because I never got that opportunity to be her.
So what have you learned about the old Christine that you didn't learn? That you didn't know about yourself. What have you learned about yourself that you?
I like to exercise. I love walking. I like going for a walk. I would have never gone for like long walks and stuff like that because I would have been accused of meeting up with somebody and cheating. So I just knew that wasn't possible for me to do. So, but I actually love it. And I love exercising. I love getting dressed up and going out and looking pretty and stuff like that, which I never did before because I knew I would be accused of, going to meet somebody or going to do something. Yeah. So I never took care of myself. I never dyed my hair. I would have never dyed my hair. Not because of him, but just because I didn't want to draw attention to myself.
Right.
So, I never did things to draw attention to myself.
You just said a mouthful there when you said not drawing attention, and that's the sad part of it.
Yeah, because I remember when she told me the book. She came out with a little romper. I'm like, what the? I'm like, okay. I'm like,
we got like 1 minute left. Let's let Christine give one more last sales pitch for the book.
Oh, thank you.
Sonny, hold it up. Sonny, hold the book up.
Hold up.
One whole minute, Sonny.
Okay, Through Blind Eyes, it's available on Amazon. Please pick it up. It's a great read. It's a quick read. Follow us on Through Blind Eyes on Facebook. You know what? This is just the beginning. There's going to be a lot more to come with this. We're going to have a YouTube channel. We do our lives every other Wednesday where we talk about subjects from the book. This Wednesday we're talking about Meg snitching and Ferrari pitching apples at her husband, which was just as wrong as him hemming her up. But he got kicked off and she didn't. So Through Blind Eyes is it's a movement. This is going to be a whole movement. So please pick up the book. It's on Amazon. Let me know what you think. Thank you.
I will definitely check out your show again. I checked it out last week, so I'm going to check it out.
Okay, look.
For sure.
So you said it's Wednesday, right?
We're trying to be fair.
It's Wednesday at what time?
It's Wednesdays, 11 on Instagram, 1 on Facebook, and 9 on Facebook. 9 is the 9's where you might get a curse word or two.
Oh, the PM?
9 p.m. Yes, 1 p.m. Okay. 1 p.m. in the afternoon on Facebook, 9 p.m. on Facebook. The 9 p.m. one, we take the gloves off.
Oh, I think I need to watch that one then.
Yeah, that's the one I want to be on.
Yes, we're all streaming.
I like to hear raw and uncut.
Yeah, we are raw and uncut. Why not go listen to something wrong?
Right, look.
We definitely got to have you on again soon.
Oh, please. Sunny knows all she got to do is hit me up. That's all she got to do.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Sunny, take us out of here.
All right, guys. So thank you guys for listening to tonight's show. Willie, give out your info. Hold on, let me find your banner. I'm new to this.
Yeah, Sunny took over the show for me today. I was on the road. Thank you for being patient.
How do I get Willie on there? Hold on. I took him from. Hold on, I took him from the stream. Wait a minute. How?
Click on the little head in my box. There
we go. There we go.
This is your boy Willie Styles. Get at me at Willie Styles everywhere. That's on IG, on Twitter, on TikTok. I'm Willie.Styles on Snapchat. And check me out on stylesradio.com for all the music I'm listening to. WillieStyles.info for all my links. Thank y'all.
You not stalking nobody?
No, I'm not stalking nobody this week.
Shush, Dame, it's me now. It's your favorite girl.
Sorry.
I am Sunny _D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Tickety Top. I made some a couple of days ago, so check it out. And my blog, which I need to get back to, is unreservedlyme.com. So check that out. How do I get back? Oh, let me get back to everybody. I'm still trying to
just click on yourself again and it'll bring you back.
You did a good job. You did a good job, Sonny.
She did a great job.
You did a good job, Sonny.
I'm trying. I'm learning.
This is good.
Oh, and Shan, we saw your comment. Well, for better for worse, until you just be a lazy bum, we got a problem. I wanted to address their comment just for that before we cut off. But
yeah, she was commenting on don't be supporting people that's unemployed and laid off and all that extra stuff.
Yeah, but
you get 2 months, man. You get 2 months, and after that, you cut off.
Cut off.
That better for better and worse kept me for 27 years.
You know what?
I highly suggest you don't.
For better or better.
Better for worse. Make sure you got limits to your worse.
Yeah, exactly. It's a threshold. But check out our website, gftradioshow.com, and on your favorite social media sites, Instagram and Twitter at GFT_radio, and at GFT Radio on Facebook. We already said cop the merch. I don't know if Willie got one on, but I got one on. Willie gonna have it back. But go cop the merch. Go to teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. Support us while we support you. And as always, if you missed the live show because something has snapped in your brain and you missed us, what the hell? But we won't condemn you too much, but you can always go back to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Blog Talk Radio, and of course you can watch it back and get on Facebook and YouTube. Why not? And like and comment and subscribe to every fucking thing. You should be following us on every fucking thing. Yeah. So, because I don't get it. Don't follow us on one thing and not the other. Follow us everywhere.
Honestly, I gotta go. I have to go and follow everything.
Right.
I'm going on YouTube.
No, but if you don't have certain apps, you don't have them. But for the apps that you have, you see it.
Spotify and YouTube, I have. But I'm
exactly.
going to get all the rest of them.
We're in there like swimwear. But thank y'all for listening to tonight and joining us, rather. We'll see you guys in 7 days, like Clint says.
See you in 7.
See you on 7.
And Clint, we miss you. Thank you for joining us. I will hit you up. We got to have a conversation outside of this. But
I do want to.
We'll have a conversation.
I do want to pick your brain too. I do have some questions for you.
For me?
Topic. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, good.
Well, follow her. What's your Instagram and stuff?
Okay, so my Instagram is Christine Mayo Breaking Free, and my Facebook is Christine Mayo. And I have Twitter. Now I do have Twitter, Christine Mayo Through Blind Eyes. Yes.
I think I follow you on Twitter. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. I just started the Twitter.
Okay.
Twitter's boring. I'm not a reader. I like pictures.
I'm barely on Twitter, and I'm a podcaster, so I can't really talk anything about that.
To be honest, I'm now mainly on Instagram too, but I do.
Yes.
I do my best to go check my Facebook every now and then. Twitter, I'm terrible on nowadays. I used to be like always on Twitter, but now not anymore.
What's Twitter? At this point,
right. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate everybody for stopping through. Appreciate the questions. I don't
stay
know.
grown. Stay safe.
On the screen.
I'm following their BR GFT radio. But bye, guys. Thank y'all.
Bye.
Chuck, do the outro.
Press the button. Press the button.
Go back to brand.
Hold on, the outro, right? At the after show video, that's what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
That wasn't the right one.
That's what you were supposed to play at 11.
That one.
Clear the banner. I'm sorry, y'all. Clear the banner.
We're still here.
Play the fire video.
We're still here.
Oh, that's the fire. Well, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Y'all fired.
Okay. Why are we fired for doing your job?
I know, right?
Because I'm learning.
Job, y'all.
You good though.
Okay,
Good night.
End the live.